Today, I'm editing a photo inside of DxO Photolab 8. Now, this is a software that I use from time to time based off of the way that I feel like working, and today's no exception to that. So I was just capturing some images around the house, and this is one of the photos of my youngest daughter, and she was on her cell phone. I'm thinking that this should be in black and white. Now, when I photographed this on the back of my A9 II, I was using a black and white profile, but since I was shooting in RAW, it retains all of the color data. So the first thing that I want to do is throw a preset on here. Inside of DxO, if you come up to the top right corner, you'll have a list of presets. Now you can see I'm already in the black and white presets, but there's a number of preset options. You may not have these film pack presets if you don't own DxO Film Pack. Now, I'll make a separate video showcasing how I use DxO Film Pack, but for today's purposes, I do use some of the tools inside of Photolab 8 when I edit images. So I'm going to come to the built-in Photolab black and white presets, and I wanted this photo to be really dark and contrasty. Now, the only one that seems to fit the bill is the low key option. Obviously, for your image, you can choose whichever one you want, but for mine, I'm going to go with the low key option. So I'll go ahead and click that, and Photolab is going to apply all of those settings right onto the image. Now, I like what it's doing here, but I feel like the photo's a little crooked, so I need to level it out. The way that I'm going to do that is I'll come up to the top, grab the crop tool, and then I'm going to bring this in just a little bit, because with Photolab, and again, I'm not the expert on Photolab, so if anyone knows how to make this not happen, then please help me understand in the comments. If I leave this set to the original size and then I start to rotate it, you see these black spaces? It doesn't crop internal to the image. So what I need to do is crop in just a bit and then make my rotation. And that way I keep pixels in the image and I don't get that blank canvas space. So again, if anyone knows how to keep that from happening, I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to need to crop in from the bottom because I'm also getting that space down at the bottom here. So maybe something like this, and I'll pull this down to her eyebrow line. The goal is to keep her mostly centered because I did use a frame within a frame. There's this little blurred out, I guess, ring, if you will, from a basket that was sitting on the table. It's probably easier to see in color. You see that gray or that silver ring that's going around? That's kind of the frame within a frame. And when it goes black and white, that gets lost, which I'm okay with that being lost because the effect of it is still there. And then we have the basket down here at the bottom. So the idea is still alive and well in the image. Now, this is where I could stop, throw a preset on and go. And that's kind of the beauty of working inside a software like Photolab. But sometimes it's not always as creative, or it doesn't always give you that artistic flair. So I want to go a little bit beyond what I'm getting with the preset. So I'm not going to worry so much about the light here. Instead, I'm going to jump over to the effects tab. Now, like I mentioned before, some of what I have inside of my Photolab is tied to the Film Pack 7 that I have. Now, if you want to pick that up, you can check the link down in the description box below, and it is an affiliate link. I make a small commission off of anyone who uses it, but I greatly appreciate that. So what I want to do for this photo is add in a little bit of soft focus. To do that, I need to click on the blur section here and activate it. When they're grayed out like this, it makes it look like you can't click it, but you can actually click it, and then you get a little blue light. It turns on. And I'm going to select the soft focus portion. So once I have that selected, I get two sliders. Now, the first slider is just how strong do you want this effect to be? If I put it up to 100%, you can see exactly what it's doing. Now, I'm going to leave it at 100% for a second here, and I'm just going to pull this all the way up to 100%. When I do that, it looks like the effect has gone away. And essentially, when you pull the diffusion all the way to the right, it makes it more finite on the edges of the transition points where this blur is being applied. And when I pull the diffusion down to 0, it essentially blurs the whole photo and applies it all over the place. Now, for me, I want some structure left in the image. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and pull this back up around 50. And I'm going to manage my soft focus with the intensity slider. This is a personal preference. You can do it however you want. The goal here is just to get rid of some of that clinical sharpness and make the photo look a little bit softer and ethereal, if you will. So if I go ahead and turn this off and turn it back on, you can see it just softens up those harsher lines and that contrast in the hair, and even on the face, it softens it up a little bit more, gets rid of some of those pores and things of that sort. So that's the reason why I wanted to apply some soft focus. It's a fun way to just make your images look a little bit different. So now that I have my soft focus applied to the image, what I'm noticing is I want to darken down this little section over here in the top right, and maybe even darken down this portion of our refrigerator. So to do that, I'm just going to come over here to this little brush tool in the upper right. These are the local adjustments, and I have a few different options for local adjustments. Now, masking inside of DxO works fundamentally the same, but the selection tools are very unique to DxO software. So that's going to have to be a video all in itself. But the tool that I'm going to use that is very straightforward for most software is the gradient filter. So I'm just going to click that, and I'm going to click and drag out right here. Maybe pull that back just a bit because I don't need it to mess. I don't need to select more than just that little section. And all I'm going to do is pull down on the exposure, and you'll see that that section gets a little bit darker. So I think that that works. I don't need to go. Let's try a full stop just to see. Yeah, actually, a full stop works out pretty well. So I also want to darken down this section. So I'm just going to go ahead and click and drag. You can see when I do that, it creates a second gradient filter, or graduated filter, I should say. And that's great because I wanted it to create a second one. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pull down and darken that up as well. And all that does is helps with the overall look in the image. I may need to pull that a little bit more so it feathers. Now, quick tip on masking. If you want to get rid of these little overlay icons so you can see the whole image, you can come down here and click close, because it's, again, masking works a little bit different inside of DxO software, at least Photolab, than it does in other programs. So I think that this is a good overall look. So here's the before without any of the corrections, and then here's the after with all of my edits. So let me know what your thoughts are on DxO Photolab 8 in the comment section below. Let me know the things that you are interested in seeing in the software. If you want to pick up the software and help the channel, consider using my affiliate link down in the description box below. And until next time, I want you to stay inspired and keep creating. Peace.